Rise and shine with global entertainment news the morning buzz. I am your host, Bella, ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bringing our own spark to the studio is so we'll be taking today's top story from the Vanguard and Daily Trust. And today's top story from the Vanguard. Rep give Transport Minister 48 hours to appear over Abuja Cardinal train derailment. The House of Representatives Committee on Land Transport has given the Minister of Transportation, Saidu Alkali, 48 hours to appear over it before it over last week derailment of an Abuja Cardinal train, which had 618 passengers on board. The chairman of the committee, Blessing Uno, described Al-Khalid's absence as unacceptable and insensitive to Nigeria affected by near tragedy. A third does not run in the daytime for nothing. We are on rescue. But many of us caught our break and came all the way from Lagos because of this national tragedy, only for the minister to snub the parliament. We take strong exception to this. Our brother and sister, we are in danger. This is not a joke. We are therefore suspending this meeting and mandating the minister to appear in person within 48 hours, not declare. Deputy spokesman of the House, Philip Abese, was more scathing, say that Al-Khali's action showed incompetencies and disregard for Nigeria.
This is so bad and so sad. Definitely, his actions shows a lot of incompetencies because why on earth, Minister of Transport for that matter, they should what do they actually need to look for you before you even come out and say something? You should be the first person to be there. That you should have taken an action. This has happened over a week now, and there is nothing that is being done. Nothing has been said or this at all. And now we are here looking for you on what you should do. We are teaching you your job, and that is so bad.
Well, I know that they're going to be like, there's someone that is, let me say, a mentor to all these people that they are following their footsteps because there was a time that the president was even lead on a campaign and then he was not there. He has to send the vice president to be there on his place. So all those things that we are all looking at is started from the top, and then we needed to actually hold them responsible because if he's going to feel so careless about not attending a meeting of a Abuja Kaduna way, and it's actually a bad one.
The bad one.
But they are not ready to look at it. It's going to get to a point that everything is going to be forgotten. Since he's not there, he will send his personal assistant and say that I'm not in the state at the moment, or
just cook up a story, like to cover it up.
And
it's
then
so
it
bad.
will all come. That is how we have been facing it in Nigeria. Well, let's move on. Edo killing. NSCDC deploys special squad to hunt down killer of 8 operatives. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has launched a manhunt for the gunmen who ambushed and killed 8 of its operatives in Okala, Etesco, East Local Government Area of Edo State. The tragic incident occurred on Friday when NSCDC personnel were ambushed while protecting critical infrastructure at the Bua Cement Company in Okala. Yet eyewitness says the officers engaged the attackers in a fierce 3 hours gun battle, managing to rescue 4 expatriates before 8 of the operatives were fatally gunned down. In a statement by the Corps, National Public Relations Officer Afolabi Babawole, the Commander General praised the fallen operatives for their resilience, diligence, and dedication, noting that they pay the supreme price in the line of duty.
Yeah, kudos to the NSCDS for the job well done. But I feel that we should do more of this. Equipment should be given to these personnel. Things they need, they should not suffer for it. They should not even ask for it before they have been given. This will help them. This will encourage them.
Exactly, but I feel like Nigeria are really, let me say, far behind when it comes to security, personnel maintenance, and all that. We have really been suffering when it comes to all those terrorists. I'm not going to say that those are terrorist attacks, but you can imagine the kind of the arm they have to actually overpower those those operatives.
Securities.
If we ask now how many of those terrorists that was actually gunned down by the security
Not more than
personnel,
2 or 3.
done. It might even happen that none of them actually got shot
And
or some.
injuries.
8 of our security personnel just gone down to jail, and then it's really a sad, and we are still going to the, let me say, the state politician will still going that we are proud of them, they are fighting, but you're not giving them the right equipment that they
So
need.
training should be observed, the necessary training, because some of them they just employ most of them
They
due
just
to connections and all, just go because I have connections, this and that, and none of them has enough training they ought to have, and they take them to face battles which are bad.
very, very fun. Well, let's move on. LP asks Abbas Apabio to stop Tinubu reckless borrowing. The Labour Party LP has urged Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House of Representatives Speaker Tijani Abbas to reject President Tinubu borrowing request, citing concern over Nigerian mounting debt profile and fiscal instability. Nigerian debt crisis has reached alarming level, with the country's public debt soaring to 149.39 trillion naira in barren 3 months, surpassing the 40% threshold set by relevant fiscal law. The debt to GDP ratio has risen to 52%, with 61% of revenue going towards debt servicing. Despite this, President Tinubu is seeking a new World Bank loan. Interim National Publicity Secretary of Labour Party, Tony Akemi, who stated this in a statement in Abuja yesterday, said for Nigeria to appreciate Speaker Abbas' sense of alarm, one must put in perspective the fact both the Debt Management Office DMO and CBN published data available to the public revealed that in the first 90 days of this year, 2025 alone, Nigerian public debt soared from 121.7 billion in December 2024 to 149.39 trillion naira.
I won't say Nigeria is about to collapse, but Nigeria has already fallen.
We are
We have
down.
we are down already. Imagine you borrowed over 149 point something trillion naira and you are still planning on borrowing another loan from the World Bank. Why? Should we be begging the president not to borrow money? Can't he use his, like, I just don't want to say something that is, can't he use his, like, he should think of it. The money is even borrowing now. What is he using it to do? Because now a particular state is coming out that they want to repair a road for 3 trillion naira. They need to add more money, 3 trillion after what they're giving them, and I'm not sure that the money they gave them was even implemented. I'm not sure.
Well, the reason why I'm actually in that state is not about the government or how they actually wanted to run it. It is we, the people, that actually see this as a norms for Nigerian government to keep on borrowing on the name of Nigeria. Where we have been asking this question for a long time: what actually is
Has
the
it been used?
collateral? What are they going to use to clear up this debt? Because the next person that is going to take up this mandate has a lot of ways to go.
A
And
lot.
the Nigerians that I know are actually a very difficult people to deal with, because if the next person that is going to take this is going to be like, we have a debt to clear, it's going to be a question for every citizen to be like, are we the one owing?
Exactly.
You are not providing what we voted you to do. You are starving us. We are hungry. But they forget that the past one actually accumulated
That's
a
it.
lot. So we are actually one of the problem of ourselves, because if we are holding this government responsible, accountable for their mistake or this nonsense, it will continue. But then we have those that are benefiting for it, but they still wanted to brainwash the rest to think that this is actually a good move.
Sincerely, I would say no matter if he's the president or he's not the president, they should the World Bank borrowing this man money. They should stop it.
Well, the most funniest part is
They should stop
the
it.
Labour Party that actually come out to say that Abbas and Apabio to warn the president.
Why would they
not to-
warn him?
No, it's not even that they can't warn him. They are the Senate president, and also they have the right to warn the president. They have every right.
Okay, them warning him, will that stop him from doing what he wants to do?
Well, they have every right. If the president wanted to borrow a loan, it has to go through them, and then they will
Okay.
be the one to actually pass the invoice to the World Bank so that loan could be given to Nigeria. But him coming out to say that the Labour Party saying that the Akpabio and Abbas
Abbas.
should want president, I feels like you are actually telling let me say you are putting a fish before a cat, and then you're expecting not to touch it, because let me say the fish is like the president, and those Abbas and Akpabio are the cat, because they are going to eat from it. They were definitely going to eat from that fish, so there's nothing you can do about it. So those things is just like a joke. You can't tell them those that are benefiting from the president. If the president get the loan, they will get their own share.
Yeah,
So you can't
for
tell
sure.
them not. It's us, the citizens, that needed to stop this madness, because they are all in it. Well, on today's top story from Daily Trust. One killed, three abducted on Kogi Highway. The incident occurred on Monday at about 3 p.m. in Aku village, Adabi local government area of the Kogi state. It was gathered that the Toyota Bus registered number Benue DAP 325LG was on transit along the highway when the gunmen stormed the road and flagged down the vehicle, making the driver halt abruptly. The report from the area noted that the Vigilance Patrol van arrived at the scene at the right time and absorbed the move of the suspected kidnappers. Unfortunately, one person was reportedly killed, and the three passengers were whisked away to the bush before the arrival of the vigilantes at the scene. Luckily for the passenger, a vehicle of the Kogi State Vigilance Group patrolling the highway intercepted the gunmen operation, leading to the exchange of firepower. Eventually, the gunmen fled into the bush with the three of the passengers, while the driver and the three others were rescued by the vigilantes, says an eyewitness, Jamil.
Imagine we can't even move in
Really?
our home country freely without suspecting each and one another. We have to look at our left, we have to look at our right, the front and the back. Before we are not even safe at all. And this is so bad. And here we are calling the president, calling the governors of each state to step up on their game, to do something, but no, they turn a blind eye to everything that we are saying, to our cries, to our pleas, to everything. And this is so bad.
um, Talking about this about the kidnapping, I think yeah, it's not that I think it's actually a new game in town, because if they wanted to rob a motorcycle, some people are no longer keeping their money in their bag anymore,
At
because
all.
whenever they are traveling, they decided to just take it. So this time around, kidnapping makes it easy to contact their family and demand the ransom, and
Ransom,
then they
yeah.
know that they are going to get enough money from it. But this is actually a sad one, because we all are in the same state, and then we know the hardship of Nigeria right now. But trying to impose this kind of a ransom on someone that is struggling to actually survive, we have to think about it. If you needed to kidnap someone, you see the politician looting a lot of money. There is a way you can make your game work.
Sincerely,
But
exactly.
it's very bad. We are all in this together. It's because of the state of the, let me say, the way Nigeria is, that put you into this kind of act and then start kidnapping people. Then why can't you make it a better move? And you know that if you're going to be caught, it's not something that needed to be, let me say, a romance war that is going to be let go. But you're going to face the law.
Definitely, if they even make better, they'll see more money from there than these people. You know that these people don't have anything, but
swear
yet
to
we are
God.
kidnapping them. And if they fail to give you that particular ransom, you kill them for what purpose?
It's really a bad one. It's really, really a bad one. And everything needed to put accordingly. Well, let's move on. Power outage in health sector no longer acceptable, tenable. He spoke in Abuja on Tuesday at the first national stakeholders dialogue on power in the health sector, team powering health through public-private syndicate. Energizing Nigeria health sector for the future. The event was organized by the Federal Minister of Health and Social Welfare and Power. Tinubu, represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, says the frequent disruption in electricity supply in hospital pose grave risk. In surgical theatre, maternity ward, intensive care unit, laboratory and emergency room across the country, power outage comprise safety interrupts care and cost life. This outage cannot continue, and under our administration, they should not leave are at the stake. We must act now, he said. And he's not even in Nigeria. He has
Like,
to send his own stakeholders to actually represent him for this very important, should I say very important. They just wanted to make a propaganda out of
like
it.
this, like it's so painful. It's painful. Is it when the doctor says they're about to go on strike that he's not even the one saying it? Is his let me say assistant or someone is sent down to come and say it. The doctors are like a lot has been going on. Not talk of the power outage in hospitals. Should there not even be light in the hospital? If you're going to talk about it, some people are on oxygen 24/7. Okay, when light goes now, what do you want? Some people might die at that particular time.
Yeah, this thing is not even about the power sector in health sector when it comes to something properly that needed to be talked about. It's everything being balanced in Nigeria. If everything is actually being balanced, imagine those people that actually spend a lot of money to how will I say get petroleum for the generator or go for solar system and all that, and then you expect them not to impose a large sum of money on a patient that actually need a serious medical attention. This is just, let me not say this is just a tip of what we are passing through, but it's one of the greatest risks any country can actually take to
Yeah.
let the power sector on reconstruct, no good equipment, no power supply to the health sector, and no good pay to the health personnel. It's a very, very bad, very bad for any country to
Sure.
actually indulge that, because those people that are in health practitioner, they can actually do anything to any patient that comes due to greed and selfishness. If those health practitioner actually can take people's kidney, take people's organs, and
Sell
then
it
sell
out.
it because they are actually lacking the care they need from the government, it's really a sad one. We are not just fighting for the light, electricity in the we are fighting for what's to be done, the good that they needed, their salary, their allowance, everything that is needed to be given to them. All this thing needed to come because people's life are at risk. If you're not, let's move aside the electricity. What the health practitioners started harvesting organs from patients because they were not being paid well.
Exactly.
That is a sad one.
So bad.
God, let's move on. Bandits killed three, adopt several in Castina community. The attacker also left many residents wounded, with victims rushed to nearby hospital for treatment. Local says an unspecified number of women and children were adopted, with sources claiming that about four of the adoptees were engaged and scheduled to be married before the end of 2025. Kardiswa has endured repeat bandit assaults in recent times. This latest attack is the second within 10 days, while the deadliest incident occurred in 2019 when more than 70 people were killed. They appealed to the government to urgent deployment troops to prevent further attack and restore peace. Eyewitnesses revealed that many villagers, particularly women and children, were seen fleeing the community from around 4 p.m. on Monday following the raid.
This is so bad. Hearing the case of kidnapping, banditry, gunmen over and over again. I'm tired of discussing it. Sincerely, because we say one today, we say two tomorrow, we say a lot next time. They are not doing anything. The government are not improving on it, and these people like this, to them they feel like it's their own source of income. They want to kill their fellow human beings. They want to kidnap their fellow human beings just to collect ransom, and it is bad.
Well, I would say that the rate of crime in Nigeria has actually put in a lot of people in the
Pressure.
in certain things that don't needed to be done when it comes to the inappropriate way. Banditry is just one of the things that I feels like governments can actually wipe these things out if they
Exactly.
wanted to. But at the same time, they wanted to keep it for their own political agenda and purpose to put people on the break. I would be waiting for the government to actually give an urgent intervention to help us because there are many in that community that we also, it is going to be a die or whatever. And you can imagine in Nepal, the citizens there are actually protesting. And then even when some of them were being killed, they didn't fled. They stand and then started destroying the government properties because it is part of their tax that they are paying. But here, when the government has actually failed us over and over again, we still wanted to give them the hope and then put it in a word that when I go to mosque today, or when I go to church today, or when I go to the shrine today, I'm going to pray for them. God, please touch the government so that they can. That is absolutely brainwashed. It doesn't make any sense. So people that you keep praying for and then they're still doing the same. It's high time you take them out, waiting for the government to do what? Return peace over and over again since 2019. It's really sad.
It's getting too much, sincerely.
It's getting too much. Well, thank you for joining us on the Breakfast Show. I have been your host, Bella. Be sure to join us next time on the Global Entertainment News. Thanks and have a blessed and lovely day. Bye.